Yo, what's good? Next year, Amolytics. Happy Friday, everybody. June 13th. I'll give a quick little recap of Wednesday. We swept the slate and kept the winning streak going to five. Pena went 2 for 4 with a double there. Pasquantino went 1 for 3. He came through late. He was the last leg. Came through late, bottom of the ninth. Got an infield single. Schmidt shoved there against Kansas City. I wasn't expecting it. He went 7 innings pitch, I believe. Two earned, not two earned, two base runners, zero earned there. So, you have that. But as I said, Pasquantino came through. Yandy went 2 for 4 with the homer off Bueller. Gunnar went 2 for 3 with two singles there. And then Soto went 2 for 4 with the homer off Irvin. I picked Cameronero for the home run, but it ended up being Yandy. So, I picked a righty. It was a righty, but it was Yandy there. Moving forward onto today, I'll give you my top five, the homer that I like. We're about to make it 6 days in a row, and then we're about to sweep the slate again. So let's do it. First up, I like Acuna going against Marquez of Colorado. Colorado's coming off a game yesterday at home in Colorado. Had to travel throughout yesterday, no days off. Marquez has already been bad this year on the road, has an over 8 ERA on the road. So I like this spot for Acuna, who's batting a 4.99 weighted OBA against right-handed pitching, and then striking out at a 22% rate, which is about average. It's not necessarily like eye-catching there with that rate. Marquez has given up a 120 whip to righties. Over the course of his past, I'll do the last 3 away games. He went 5 innings pitched, 11 base runners, 3 earned against Miami. Cubs, he went 8 base runners, 2 earned there in 6 innings pitched. And then Arizona got to him pretty good. He went 3 innings pitched, 10 base runners, 5 earned. I like Atlanta to get to him here. They kind of need to. This home stretch for them before, the All-Star break. This whole stretch, not even just this home stretch, this whole stretch before the All-Star break, is important to them if they want to do something. So I expect their bats to come out, at home here against someone who struggles on the road already. Next up, I'm doubling back to Pasquantino. He's at home against Severino of the Athletics, who struggles with lefties. He's given up a 165 whip to lefties. And Pasquantino is one of the few lefties that Kansas City has. They may have 3 in there, maybe 3 or 4. I think 3. And that's the weak spot for Severino. He just got shelled by Baltimore, who's heavy lefty. Gave up 12 base runners, 5 earned. And then previous to that, he gave up 10 base runners, 8 earned against Minnesota. I will say he does pitch better on the road, but when I look at his road starts, his last 2 were against Houston and San Fran, who were heavy righties. They don't really have many lefties in their lineup at all, and we're attacking them from the left side. So I really don't give too much of that. His other 2 away starts, he faced Texas, the Rangers, went 5 innings pitched, gave up 9 base runners, 1 earned. Texas has a good amount of lefties in there. It might be about 5 to 4 lefty to righty for Texas, maybe 6 to 3. And then Milwaukee was the first game of the year. Went 8 innings pitched there, and then 3 base runners, 1 earned. I like this spot for Pasquantino to keep it going. As I mentioned his stats, the previous time, he's batting a 547 weighted OBA versus right-handed pitching and striking out at a 2% rate. And he's on a 12-game hitting streak here. I like him to keep it going, on those lefty bats in the Kansas City lineup to get to Severino here. Next up, I got Sal Frelick of Milwaukee going against Fetty. I'm attacking Fetty again. I don't think he's good. And Milwaukee as a team, has great numbers against him. Fetty is currently giving up a 181 whip to lefties. And then you got Frelick with a 464 weighted OBA with 6% K rate. I love this spot for him. They moved him into leadoff. He was batting like 5th, I want to say, in the lineup. They moved him into the leadoff here recently because Terang was struggling. So I like Frelick to start it off here against Fetty. And I'll mention Fetty's last couple away games. He went 6 innings pitched against the Rangers, Gave up 7 base runners, 2 earned. Baltimore, heavy lefties, who he struggles with. He gave up 8 base runners, 3 earned. And then Philly didn't get to him that much. I mean, they had 7 base runners there, but they had 0 earned, and he went 5 2/3 there. So he's made it, 6 innings pitched once in his last 5. Moving forward, last 2. I'm doubling up here for Arizona. They're going against Stephen Kolick of San Diego. I believe a lot of runs are going to be scored on both sides here, but I'm leaning towards Arizona at home. They've been shelling righties. Kolick's young here. I believe he was a rookie last year. Came out the bullpen. This year they put him in the starting rotation. He hasn't been making it past, the 5th. In his last 4 out of 5. He gives up a lot of walks here too. Gave up 7 base runners against Milwaukee. Gave up 5 base runners against San Fran. Got shelled against Miami for 8 base runners, 6 earned. Toronto got to him a bit for 10 base runners, 3 earned and 6. And then Seattle got to him for 9 base runners, 5 earned. I like this spot for Arizona. I like for them to get to him. Carroll and Marte, at the top of the lineup. Carroll being leadoff, Marte being in the 2 spot. Marte has a 5.29 weighted OBA, 14% K rate. And then you got Carroll with the 5.09 weighted OBA and 10% K rate against right-handed pitching over the course of the past 2 weeks. And their lineup, I didn't even mention Kolick's numbers against lefty. He's given up a 245 whip against lefties. That's the highest on the board today, in which Arizona is heavy lefty here. And starting out with those 2 at the top, I like them to get to him and score some runs. Those are my top 5, and I'll give them in order. I like Marte, Carroll, Frelick, Acuna, and Pasquantino. That's my 5 there. And then I like, for my home run, I like Adell of the Angels at Baltimore going against Morton here. For some reason, the Angels are the best away hitting team in the league right now. Over the course of the year, I'm not even just going to say right now. Over the course of the year, Morton can get hit up. Let me find him. Okay. So over his course of his last 5 games, he's given up a home run in 3 out of 5, and 2 of those being at home. Adell's, been hitting for power. I mean, he already does that, but he's been doing it. And he's brought down his K rate. His K rate was in the mid-30s, maybe 40s. It's down to 23% over the past 2 weeks. He has an ISO of 576. If you don't know what ISO is, that's essentially your slug minus your average. So showing the isolated power that you have. 576 is crazy. I believe that he has about 5 home runs over that span. And then he has a fly ball rate of 67.7%. So he's lifting the ball. He has a hard hit rate of 50% and a medium hit rate of 44%. I like this against Morton. Morton is, can always get hit up. He's been pitching better recently, but he hasn't really faced anybody. He faced the Athletics, faced the White Sox. St. Louis is good, but they struggle at times, like they're struggling right now. And he got hit up there. And then Minnesota got to him, and then since he got to him, only went 2 1/3 there, 11 base runners, 7 earned. I like LA to get to him. Also like Baltimore to get to Kashanowitz, whatever his name is. He's not well either. If you've been listening, I attack him too. So this could be a high-scoring game here. But those are my top 5. That's my homer. If you want to be notified when I post, please subscribe and turn on your notifications. Like, comment, share.